Just like how paper and plastic can be recycled, we learn that food can be recycled too. At school and home, we can separate our food into separate containers to be composted and recycle it back into the earth with help from decomposers. Wasting less food means wasting less land, water, energy, and labor. It means that more people will be fed with the available food and that fewer people will go hungry. Wasting less food also means reducing our dependence on landfills, which helps us fight climate change. And lastly, food waste can be avoided. Reducing the amount of food waste is quite simple, and we can all help stop wasting food. Food waste happens when we buy too much food and don't eat it before it goes bad. It happens in restaurants and at the school cafeteria when we ask for too large of portion sizes. And so now, here are 9 easy steps that we can do with members in our household to stop food waste. Number 1, ask for smaller portions. The easiest way to reduce food waste is to put less on your plate. Ask for smaller portions and go back for seconds if you still feel hungry after finishing your plate. That way, you only eat as much as you need and no leftover food is thrown away. Number 2, love your leftovers. If you do end up with leftovers, keep them for another day. Instead of scraping leftovers into the bin, you could use them as tomorrow's ingredients. Or, having put them in the fridge, simply reheat and enjoy the leftover portion of that delicious spaghetti from yesterday. Number 3, shop smart. We often buy more food than we are able to eat. There are easy ways, however, to avoid overshopping. Most importantly, you should think before you buy. Ask your parents to plan meals and to buy only what is needed. Write a shopping list together before you set out for the shop. That way, you are less likely to buy things you don't need and won't eat. Number 4, buy ugly fruits and vegetables. An apple should be round and plump, a carrot long and straight, a potato perfectly smooth. Or should they? Not really. Fruits and vegetables come in all shapes and sizes, and each one of them is just as tasty and good to eat as the next. An apple can have rough spots, a carrot can be a little bent, and a potato can be crooked or knobbly. They all will taste the same and be just as healthy to eat. However, shop owners often think that customers won't buy these foods, and so they are often thrown away before they even reach the shops. Number 5, check your fridge. To keep it fresh and safe to eat, chilled foods need to be stored at between 34 and 40 degrees Fahrenheit. When it's cooked, food should be stored in a closed container in the fridge. Together with your parents, make sure your fridge is set to the right temperature and get to know where different types of foods should be kept in the fridge. Also make sure that the fridge isn't packed too full. An overloaded fridge uses more energy, and it's quite likely that you will forget to use something that has been shoved into the furthest corner. Number 6, FIFO. First in, first out. This funny sounding rule is one of the easiest ways to avoid food waste. When you or your parents put your shopping away, rotate the food in your fridge and cupboard so that the older stuff comes forward and the newest, which may keep the longest, goes right to the back. This way, you will use up the earlier buys first, and your newest food will still be good when you get around to eating it. Number 7, learn to understand the dates on your food. A lot of packaged food comes with dates stamped onto it. The most important of these date labels is the use-by date. It tells us when easily perishable food such as raw meat is expected to go bad. Eating this food after the use-by date can make you very ill. If you find that you won't be able to eat the food before the date on its use-by label, you can freeze it and defrost it and eat it at a later time. But once the use-by date has passed and you haven't frozen the food, you will have to throw it away. Number 8, turn it into garden feed. If you do end up wasting some of your food, make use of it by turning it into garden feed. Set up a compost bin for food waste and fruit and vegetable peelings. In a few months, you will end up with rich, valuable compost for your plants. You can set up a compost bin with the help of your parents. Remember, it is possible to set up a compost bin even if you have only limited space. Plenty of information on setting up compost bins can be found online. And number 9, sharing is caring. In many places, people worried about food waste help shops and customers share food. Soup kitchens use food that is nearing its best before date to make meals for poor people. Taste the waste. Restaurants cook only the safe and nutritious food that was destined to be wasted in the shops. There is a growing global network of food savers. Check them out and join them. Thank you for learning about how you can reduce food waste at home. And remember that this is information that you can share with members in your household so that you guys can fight